everyone, welcome to the QuesterMage and welcome to today's video about the PORTTA component to HDMI adapter for the PlayStation 2. In today's video I want to talk about whether this adapter works or not on a PAL region PlayStation 2 and talk about what I like, what I dislike, what I change, and my overall thoughts on this adapter. So please sit back, relax, click like, subscribe, and hopefully enjoy. Here we go. For a while now I've been on a quest to find a really good adapter for a PAL PlayStation 2 because some of the adapters that I hook up to this console just don't work the way they should do because it's not made for the PAL region, it's made for the NTSC region. So I bought this PORTTA adapter to connect to the PlayStation 2. So I bought relatively cheap component cables and just hooked it up to the PlayStation 2 and it generally all worked. So let's start off with the things that I like about this adapter. The first thing is it is compatible with the PAL region PlayStation 2, which is the whole point of getting this adapter in the first place, so I was very happy to see that it does indeed work. The first thing that I did really notice from this, and bearing in mind I was going from composite to component cables here, and now it's being converted into a HDMI cable, but overall, the image quality was really good. It was really crisp on screen with this adapter, and that is something that I definitely noticed and definitely liked. I did plug in this converter to several TVs and monitors, and every single one of them worked, which is great. Now, here's a very big important one for PAL region PlayStation 2 owners. This adapter does work properly whether the game displays at 50 or 60 Hz. Now this is really important because some of the adapters that I've had, they overstretch the image when it's displayed on the screen. And what I mean by that is there's quite a percentage of the game screen you cannot see at all. Even if you change the resolution of the screen or the ratios on the screen, you can change it to 4:3, just scan, point to point, anything you like, it will not fix it because the actual image of the screen extends beyond the limit of the TV. This adapter does not do that, which is great. The whole point of me getting this adapter in the first place was to actually not have this issue with some of the other adapters that I had. So it does fix that massive problem. To put this into context, majority of the games that I own for the PlayStation 2 are 50 Hz. So other adapters did not display them properly. It always stretched these beyond the screen limits. This adapter, for me to just play games on a TV, works fantastically well no matter what hertage the game uses. So massive thumbs up from me. The adapter also works with progressive scan, which is great. So that's 480p at 60 Hz. So it's compatible with both the PAL regions 576 interlaced and the 480p progressive, which is excellent. So this does all work with this adapter. So any games that have that as a toggle, this adapter will display progressive scan. Other things are, it doesn't heat up much. I did really notice that when I was playing it. I had it on for hours on end, and I really thought that, like other adapters, you just pick it up and as soon as you unhook the power, it will be really hot. But no, this was not hot at all, which was actually a really good surprise because, again, just used to these adapters being really hot. But no, absolutely fine, not hot at all. Now, this is going to go in my liked and disliked, but again, I'm going to talk about disliked later. The DVDs do work with the limitation of they have to be either region 5 or multi-region. Now, there might be more regions that work, but from my DVDs, most of them are region 2. None of those worked. I had one multi-region DVD and I have a region 5 DVD. Those did actually display and worked, which was nice. But again, none of the PS2 ones worked, which is a bit of a shame, but we're going to get to that next. So what did I dislike about this adapter? I'm going to start off with a DVD just to finish off what I was talking about before. DVDs in region 2 do not work. None of them display, just says no signal. So that's a bit of a shame. The PlayStation 2 is compatible with PlayStation 1 games. And unfortunately with this adapter, none of them work. None of the ones I tried work. You see the PlayStation logo for the PlayStation 1 games, but after that just says no signal or a blank screen. So if you want to play PlayStation 1 games on your PlayStation 2, you don't want to use this adapter, but if you do have a TV that just takes the component cables, it will work with that, but there still might be some display issues. But with this adapter specifically, which is what we're talking about today, no PlayStation 1 game that I have works, which is a shame. I really wanted them to work, but they didn't. The first time I turned on my PlayStation 2, nothing appeared on screen. This isn't really a dislike, but it could be a dislike if you don't know how to fix it, because it seems like the adapter doesn't work. If you do get this adapter, or any adapter, for the PlayStation 2, and when you first turn on your machine and everything's hooked up to the TV, if you see no signal or nothing just appears on screen, don't freak out. Let the PlayStation 2 go through its startup sequence, which is about 10-15 seconds. You're not going to see anything on screen. If you do the following, it might help. It did help for me, so hopefully it will help for you. You give it the 10-15 seconds for it to start up, and then you're going to press down, X, down, 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 X, and now you're going to press left and X. What that does is it changes the output of your PlayStation 2 from RGB mode, which this adapter can't display, and it changes it to component mode, which now everything should be working on the screen, which did help me. So hopefully that will help you. I've put it up on the screen as I was saying, the down X, down, down, down X, left X, so you can see it as you're doing it. And hopefully that will fix it for you. It did fix it for me. So again, hopefully that will fix that. There's no 4x3 or 16x9 toggle on the hardware itself. The adapter itself does not have any button of any form to change the screen ratio from 4x3 to 16x9. From what I've seen, most of it spits out at 4x3 onto the screen. If you don't like stretched images, well, that's the way around that. You're not going to get stretched images. But on this adapter, there is no hardware toggle, which I'll talk about again in a second in things that I would change. Tekken 5 specifically, if you like playing Tekken 1 or 2, they don't work on this adapter. I don't know why. I think it's a resolution thing. It just gets very confused and it shows nothing. It just says no signal whatsoever, so they don't work. Tekken 3 though, that works, so that's a good thing. If you like Tekken 3, the arcade game, you can still put in Tekken 5 and play Tekken 3. The beat 'em up game within Tekken 5, that works perfectly fine. But Tekken 1 and Tekken 2 do not. So if that happens with those two games, there might be other games that I don't own that have similar issues. But again, all the games that I have, I tried all of them with this adapter. Everything worked except for Tekken 1 and Tekken 2. Some games took a little bit long to load, but overall they worked. Actually, now that I think about it, Alone in the Dark, that didn't work. Didn't work at all, but I didn't test to see if just with the component cables to the TV, if it works without the adapter. But I do know that with the adapter, doesn't work at all. So Tekken 1, Tekken 2, which are a part of Tekken 5, and Alone in the Dark, they don't work. So that's that. The last thing that I disliked about this adapter that I found incredibly frustrating is if you're a content creator and you use an Elgato. So I use an Elgato HD60 S to capture the content that I have for the channel. If you want to connect this adapter to the Elgato and then capture the gameplay footage, it's going to be a bit frustrating. So it fails nearly every time the resolution changes. If you have a PAL PlayStation 2, you will know that our version of the PlayStation 2, the resolution changes a lot. I was just talking about Tekken as an example. Tekken 1 and 2, I saw the resolution change several times as follows. It done 576i at 50Hz, 480i at 60Hz, then down to 240p at 60Hz. And that's the bit that doesn't work. So I'm assuming the problem is the 240p that it can't spit out there, but I'm not sure about that. But again, just showing you the resolution does change a lot on PAL PS2s. I don't know if that's the same on NTSC. If it is, let me know down in the comments. That would be great to know. But the PAL version of the PlayStation 2 definitely does change resolutions a lot. And that causes issues with the Elgato HD60 S. It just doesn't know what to do. Generally what it does is the game capture software just freezes, nothing happens, I have to close it, reopen it, and sometimes that doesn't fix it. Everything looks like it's all over the place. I have to close it, reopen it, close it, reopen it. So there is a bit of frustration to be had with this adapter and the Elgato. However, what I done to just capture gameplay, and if you just want to capture gameplay, you can just hook up this adapter to a screen directly, get through all the menus, and once you're in the actual gameplay, so the bit you're playing in the game that you want to capture, you can then plug in the adapter to the Elgato, and that should work absolutely fine as long as the resolution doesn't swap throughout the game, which it doesn't tend to do with a lot of games, but it can do with some. Most of the ones I used, that didn't happen. Again, it was just the booting of the game. It would usually change the resolution. I'd have to close, reopen the software. Once it gets to the main menu of the game, same thing. It says press start to play or something like that. I'd press start to play and then the resolution go all over the place. If you get through to the main menu, getting through from the main menu to the game, same thing. You can cut all of that frustration out, just like I said, hook up the adapter to the TV directly, get through all those menus, and as soon as you start the actual game you want to capture in-game itself, then you hook up to the Elgato and that should fix that. But it is something I dislike. It is very frustrating because I had to capture everything in very little segments, and that if you make videos, you will know that this is a lengthy process if you're doing it like that. But again, something that I would have liked to know before I got this adapter, and now I'm letting you know. So hopefully that helps overall. Now moving on to things that I would change. The first thing is you need to power this adapter with a plug. It's not a USB connection, it's directly into a plug and it just plugs into the machine. So you have to have a plug handy. You can't just plug it into the PlayStation 2. That's a bit of a shame. I would have liked to the end, instead of being a plug, it being USB. You can hook that up to the front of the PS2 and then you can power it that way. Don't know why, but they chose it to be a plug. I'd like to change that. I'm not really a fan, but hey, it works for my setup at least because everything's sort of close together. But if you have things a little bit far away in your entertainment center, you might find that's a little bit of an issue. The 4x3 and 16:9 hardware toggle would be nice, just so you can change things to be stretch screen or 4x3. I know most people like to play everything in 4x3, but there are some games that I just don't mind playing in 16:9. Most of them I want to play in 4x3, but some of them are fine in 16:9. And it will be a nice option to have because some people actually do prefer playing games in stretch screen. I don't know why, but they prefer it. So it would just be nice to have the option. Like I said earlier in the things that I disliked, if you start up the console in RGB mode and not in component mode, there's nothing there to tell you what to do. It would be nice to actually have something pop up on screen instead of just saying no signal, just to say, hey, you can do this, and that might fix it. That's definitely something I would change as well. So that's what I liked, what I disliked, and what I changed with this adapter. If I haven't forgot anything, that should be everything. Now that leaves me with my overall thoughts on the PORTTA component to HDMI adapter. So as I said in the thumbnail, it really does depend what you want to use this adapter for. If you just want to play PlayStation 2 games that look pretty good on screen, whether they're 50 or 60 Hz on your PAL region PlayStation 2, I'd say this is a good solution. It's a good solution for me, at least. It's a shame that PlayStation 1 games aren't compatible with this adapter. If those worked, I think this would just be the adapter I'd have connected to my PlayStation 2 the whole time. But it's a shame that that doesn't actually work. If you want to use this as a content creator, then this adapter, like I said earlier, will cause a little bit of frustration. And that's why it depends on what you want to use this for. You can just connect it to a second screen, like I said, and get past most of the frustration. But if you don't want to do that, then this is something to keep in mind. Overall, my thoughts on this adapter is I really, really like it. It looks really good on screen. If you have a PAL region PlayStation 2, this adapter gave me the least amount of issues just to plug in the cables, put in the HDMI, connect it to the TV, and then generally everything worked again, except for the things that I said didn't. But the things that did work, all worked really well. And at the end of the day, when I want to just play games, this is a really good solution. So what do you think of the PORTTA component to HDMI adapter? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? How would you change it? Please leave your impression down in the comment section and let's have a discussion about it. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you very much again for watching. If you like what I do here, please click that like button down below. Helps out the channel a lot. And if you want to see more, please click that subscribe button, as that is the only way this channel can grow. Now, I hope you liked this video and I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, thanks again.